The Morgan silver dollar is one of the most beloved coins in the history of the United States. In fact, it's a coin so loved by collectors, we recently saw it return after a 100-year hiatus in 2021. After its initial release in 2021 was met with great fanfare, we got more coins in 2023, and the U.S. Mint has told us there are several more planned for the years ahead. With silver dollar fever hitting an all-time high, collectors have been clamoring to get their hands on the original coins that started it all. But many have forgotten just how poorly that first year of issue went for the Morgan Dollar series at the United States Mint. And you see it all revolved around the design. When the coin first came out, the eagle had 8 tail feathers, which they thought was fine and the norm. But many members of the public media at the time started to point at this and say that's not quite right. To their knowledge, eagles had odd numbers of feathers, or at the very least, they didn't have 8. So to avoid this becoming a major issue, the U.S. Mint quickly changed the design to the corrected 7 tail feather. And these are those original coins all the way back from 1878 that, despite being over 146 years old, are still in beautiful, uncirculated condition. These 7 tail feather Morgan dollars were the original Morgans that circulated throughout the United States, and their status as the correct first design in the series has made them iconic coins. This stunning silver dollar is item number 905-1755. That's 905-1755. And each of our uncirculated 7 tail feather Morgan dollars are just $129.95 each while they last. At that price, we are more than $210 less than our competitors' uncirculated coins, and more than $40 less than the price of a heavily circulated piece with our competition. Their status as the first coins in the series, especially when you take into account how bad that first year of issue went, has made them highly sought after today, especially when you take into account just how many of them actually survived. Because when you look at population reports, you'd be shocked how few still exist today. Now, after all of those issues surrounding the design were cleaned up, the U.S. Mint would end up striking 9.7, almost 9.8 million total Morgan dollars with this special 7 tail feather design. Yet despite 9.75 million total coins in mintage, NGC and PCGS today have certified a combined 49,390 coins with the 7 tail feather strike in any condition whatsoever. That's every coin they had, from VGs all the way up to stunning MS64s and 5s. When you compare that to the total mintage, it breaks down to just 1 in every 198 coins struck. And it's less than 1% of the entire mintage. In fact, it's almost half of that. The exact number is 0.506. So for all intents and purposes, less than half of a percent of the entire mintage is still known to exist today in any condition whatsoever. This is why an uncirculated piece with our competition costs over $340. We are more than $210 less at just $129.95. You can give us a call at 1-866-518-5933. Or if you don't want to use the phone tonight, that's totally fine. You can head on over to our website. It's avccoins.com. Then once you're there, you'll see a search bar on the page. Click on that and type in 905-1755. One more time, that item number is 905-1755. And at just $129.95 for each of our coins, you could buy 2 of ours. And versus the price of one uncirculated coin with our competition, you're still going to save over $80. These coins are so highly sought after today that when you find a circulated coin with our competition, they're asking for over $170 for it. $40 more than our uncirculated pieces. And thanks to new Morgan dollars coming in the years ahead, these original silver dollars are going to be more sought after than ever before. which only means they're going to get harder and harder to find. And with just a hair over 1/2 of a single percent of the entire mintage, they are only going to become more keys to the stunning collector series that is the Morgan silver dollar. When it comes to silver dollars that embody the American Wild West, the Morgan and the Peace dollar are without a doubt the most iconic. If you grew up watching spaghetti westerns, whenever they left those stagecoaches or those banks with those bags full of silver, it was almost assuredly going to be filled with Morgan dollars and Peace dollars. And these 1878 seven tail feather coins are the original Morgan dollars that started it all. Coins that have only become more sought after today because despite their relative availability with 49,390, the vast majority of collectors missed out on getting the 7 tail feather coin because they were so focused on getting their hands on the 8 tail feathers or those 7 over 8 tail feather mistakes that happened during the transition. As a result, the 7 tail feathers have recently become a highly sought after piece for collectors, which has made finding them in this condition quite an issue. That's why an uncirculated piece with our competition costs over $340. We are just $129.95 for each of our coins while they last. At that price, we are more than $210 less than our nearest competitors' prices. And at just $129.95, we are actually more than $40 less than our competitor's price of $170 for a heavily circulated piece. It's item number 9051755. One last time, that's item number 9051755. And if you call in now, you're going to be able to get the first Morgan dollars struck in the series with the supposed correct design, all for more than $210 less than our competitors' prices. Oh, and by the way, the kicker about the whole story surrounding this coin, when the dust finally settled years later and they did ask wildlife experts, 8 was probably more correct than 7. But though their answer was, there's no set number because they are wild animals, and the ones we do have in captivity mostly are in captivity because they got injured or had already lost feathers. But logic would assume that due to the symmetry observed in nature, it likely had an even number of feathers. So go figure, after all the kit and caboodle, the mint actually had the design right the first time, for once. It's just $129.95 while they last, and with the phone lines as backed up as they are, it is time for us to be moving on. If you're waiting to speak to one of our operators, do not hang up. You do not want to miss out on owning this rare piece of silver dollar history.